Hey guys, Trump is making some bold moves and plays against the Democrats within the federal government with some of the statements he's made. Right now, there are reports that almost half of all the federal employees are planning to just not work or do anything once Trump takes office. This is sparking reports coming from the Trump campaign of mass federal employee layoffs. This goes back to what the Doge team, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, said they wanted to do, and this might just happen quicker than what we thought, about mass layoffs of federal employees in order to help reduce spending. This is a big fight now that we're hearing of, and we'll keep you up to date on that. The lies keep on coming. The hearings for Trump's cabinet team are set for this week, and we are now hearing that there's conspiracies behind certain people like even Dan Bongino, who has been behind a lot of these so-called Trump cabinet picks. And on top of that, there's more lies even coming from the Biden campaign and Biden himself, who literally said that when he came into office, the border crossings went down. This guy is not there and needs to be removed ASAP. The Biden administration has again has given 150,000 borrowers of their student loans reallocated the money that they were supposed to pay to the taxpayers. So 150,000 college students got their loans forgiven to them, but now it's been put back on the taxpayers, now to the tune of a total of $183 billion that the Biden administration has reallocated from the students to taxpayers. So those people that never went to college, you're still paying for student loans. Probably should have went to college. They are actively doing surveys and polls right now in Greenland, and 57% of the population wants to join the United States. We are getting one step closer to expanding the United States. And through the Doge findings, I hope you're sitting down. The government, aka the taxpayers, have been subsidizing multi-million dollars homeowners insurance in certain areas for their multi-million dollar homes. Yes, you heard me right. Taxpayers have been helping celebrities who are worth millions of dollars pay for their multi-million dollar homes for their homeowners insurance because they've been subsidized by you through the government. We got a ton of breaking news today, guys. So much findings out. Big week for Trump. I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let me take care of you with the top news. And if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up like button, guys. Click it. It really does help to grow the channel so much. We are here for you to bring you the truth. I want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel. Y'all are amazing. In about a week, we're going to be doing our online charity giveaway. And also thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Ivelisse, thank you so much for your support. Y'all show Ivelisse some love in the chat. Guys, we're going to jump into this because we got a lot of crazy stuff that is going on. And I'm telling you, the more and more we get closer to Trump's inauguration, the more we're finding out. Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, last week, just to show you again, you are not wasting your freaking time here. We ran this segment about how Donald Trump had called out California on their water usage in their efforts to protect a 3-inch fish called the smelt. And we accurately predicted yet again that within moments that it would come out that Donald Trump is a serial hater of fish. First, let's play the clip and let's show you how the batting average, look at this, like Tony Gwynn and Rod Carew. Ooh, I'm not even a lefty. Is close to 1,000. They weren't 1,000, but the closest you're going to get. Watch this. If you're asking, what the is the smelt? It's this little fish he's talking about. And Justin just said it right. The media reports the following. Donald Trump hates fish. He really can't stand. He wants all the fish dead. Grouper, trout, all of them. Kill them damn fish. He's a Nazi homicidal fish Holocaust guy. He wants fish dead.
Can y'all believe this, guys?
Sidekick. Roundhouse. Rear naked choke. Triangle choke. Armbar. Now we're into jiu-jitsu too, not just karate, man. Vox, the next day. If you're curious if this is the media imbecile of the day, it would be, but today there's a bigger imbecile. Benji Jones from Vox with a V, not Fox with an F. Left-wing Vox. Why does Trump hate this tiny fish so much? It happened again. It happened again. Folks in the chat, do we not? All right, let's get to some serious stuff because this was the easiest prediction in the world that they were going to predict Trump as a serial hater of fish. Wants to wipe out all fish now. So I wake up this morning and I have to cover some serious stuff about the FBI. And I warned National Review about an hour ago, come get your boy here, Johnny Fund. They didn't listen. I will wait for an update to this article. And just so you know, National Review, I'm not planning on suing you for this or anything like that. It's just, you guys are just, but this is obviously a lie and a made-up story. But there's a point here, folks. I know it's hard for many of you to believe. Well, maybe not you in my chat. You guys are smart. But there are some people who are maybe new to the show, who are some liberals who are tuning in to hear, you know, crazy Dan Bongino and how he's right all the time. And they just don't believe it. I've tried to tell people for a long time that the media, both right-wing anti-Trump lunatics and left-wingers, I'm telling you, they make stuff up. Mm-hmm. I know this is hard for you to believe because you're like, wait, there's like defamation law and supposed to be some kind of journalistic integrity and standards. When they write something, they're supposed to back it up with some data or some appropriate sourcing, double verified and checked. And if not, just say you're speculating. They don't do that. I'm telling you, they make stuff up. And it is not just the left. This is why I hate when people are, Dan Bongino, right-wing. I'm right-wing nothing. I am a conservatarian. When people on the right side of the aisle say, I call them out too. I read this article someone sends to me this morning, and they're like, wow, I didn't know you had this much power. Michael just said it to me too. He's like, Dan, you're so powerful. You got Pete Hegseth and Matt Gaetz appointed and selected for these positions in Trump's cabinet. I was like, I did? Holy, that's crazy. So he sends me this article by John Fund at National Review. If you guys have any integrity, including John Fund, I'll expect an apology and a revision. And I'm going to make an offer to John Fund at the end of this, okay? Oh, thank you. Found my tweet. National Review, come get your boy Johnny Fund before I destroy him on my show at 11. Clock's ticking. I have not seen an update. If you guys want to pull this article, I'd love to see it. The article is called Pete Hegseth is a Walking Dead nominee. And it goes into how Susie Wiles, who is now Donald Trump's chief of staff, who I barely know. I've said I don't like or dislike. I don't know her, okay? I met her at a fundraiser. I paid to get it. I did not ask for any benefits. I want to support Donald Trump because I'm not a hypocrite. I said hello to her. She was very nice and kind to me. I have no beef with Susie Wiles at all. She ran a great campaign. They won. She's now the chief of staff. John Fund writes that Susie Wiles is now as incoming chief of staff, helped pilot Trump through an electoral effort that was a model of discipline. But she made a mistake once the election was over, Fund notes. She took a few days off. Within that week, Trump, urged in Susie Wiles' absence by such kitchen cabinet advisors as his son, Don Jr., Tucker Carlson, and radio talk show host Dan Bongino, had chosen Matt Gaetz as his nominee for Attorney General and Fox News host Pete Hegseth as his nominee for Secretary of Defense. Ladies and gentlemen, John Fund is he is making this story up. I had absolutely nothing to do with this whatsoever. Guys, all of you right now, everybody listen up. Justin, take your headphones off, okay? When Pete Hegseth was chosen as Secretary of Defense and I came in the next day, do you remember the story I told you? I was sitting there, I was watching Fox News, I think it was Laura Ingram's show, and I was as shocked as anyone else about Pete Hegseth. I had no idea about Pete Hegseth. Matt Gaetz, he knows something I don't. If he picked him, fine. Matt Gaetz didn't work out. This is a totally 100% made-up story, so I'll pay for it myself. This is a serious offer. This is not a joke to John Fund. I made the same offer to Philip Bump at the Washington Post. He never collected his money. This is easy money. $100,000 in cash. I'm not kidding. I am as serious as a freaking heart attack. In cash, I will even buy the suitcase. You got to take care of it with the IRS, declare it as income. I don't care. I'm telling you, I will give you $100,000 in cash. I usually go, oh, we'll give it to a charity. You do what you want with it. I don't care if you spend it, burn it, give it a charity. I will give you $100,000 in cash if you can prove to me or anyone else or provide a shred of evidence that I was involved in the selection of Matt Gaetz or Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense and Attorney General. Easiest money you'll ever make. This is right off the website. If they haven't changed it yet, so this is right off the website right now. I will offer John Fund $100,000 in cash. I am absolutely not kidding. Provide proof to me.
Guys, as crazy as this is to say, sorry to interrupt, but let me tell you this. I got something else to show you in just a moment from Kash Patel, who again, too, the media outlets they're not even putting sources. They're not doing anything. They're just putting things out there, lying about what's happening with the Trump campaign. It starts off small and then it continues to grow bigger. Check this out.
Publicly and anyone else that I had something to do with this quote line right here. Within that week, urged in Susie Wild's absence by a kitchen cabinet that I was his advisor and I was involved in, quote, the choosing of Matt Gaetz and Pete Hegseth. Easy money, folks. National Review is lying to you. They published this. John Fund is lying to you. And folks, there's a point here. The point here is that this is not about me. It's not about me. I'm willing to give the guy $100,000 if he can prove any of that is actually true. He made it up. The story's just fabricated because he's an angry, bitter piece who just makes up stories because he doesn't like me or Tucker or Don Jr. The point is, be careful who you trust.
Yep.
I'm your friend, right? I hope you're here watching. I hope you trust me. I'm willing to put my own money, and I am dead serious. That's a lot of money, $100,000 in cash. I'll give it to him. No questions asked if he can prove that's true, that I was involved in the choosing of either of these two people. You know how many conversations I had with the Trump team about picking Matt Gaetz or Pete Hegseth? 0. That's not a heart. My wife does this when she comes home in the morning through the truck. She goes, that's not that. That's a 0. 0. You know when I found out about this? When Fox News reported it. Folks, you cannot trust anyone.
Guys, let me tell you this. Again, we bring the receipts. I want to show you what is happening across the spectrum, just in everything. Right now, there's a big fight right now with federal employees' division over Trump's policies. Breaking this morning, nearly half of federal employees plan to resist Trump. Poll finds. Guys, this is, again, where do they get their news? They're looking at the news like everybody else, but what I just showed you, when they continue to lie, try to say that it came from certain sources that they didn't, people are involved that they didn't, it's just continue adding to the fire of just lying to the American people. Alex Fox, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said, thank you, Joe, for all you have done for us. I got you. Deanna Barkman, welcome to the fam. Thank you so much, Susan Ines, for the super chat. Let's go. And thank you so much, Jeff Loves the Truth. Just wanted to say I love True Life News. Hey, we love you too. Y'all show Jeff, Susan, and Alex some love in the chat, everybody. This is big stuff because, again, too, if nobody holds them accountable, will things ever change? Listen to the new incoming FBI director on what he plans to do about even the Trump case. I love this, guys. I love it.
I mean, this is so unprecedented. It's just amazing that he would say that.
It's shockingly unconstitutional, Trace. It's great to be with you, and I'm here to announce on your show a measure that I'm working with Congress that should be Congress's bread and butter. And I'm calling for the subpoenas to be issued to Judge Merchant's daughter's company, who made $15+ million from the illicit information pouring out of her father's courtroom. I want to know the bank records because money doesn't lie. Yep. I want to know how deep it is and how much of it went to the family and how much of it is going to the family after this false conviction. And then we need to investigate the FEC actual violations that this judge and his family conducted, because he should never have been overseeing this trial to begin with, because of the illicit campaign money that was flowing through there, and the unconstitutional due process violations are only the beginning. So America is calling for accountability of our judicial system, and Congress is the only lever that has it, and I'm hoping for one or two brave members of Congress that I'm talking to issue those subpoenas ASAP.
You hear that? New subpoenas coming. I told you guys. I told you. They're going after Juan Merchan, Judge Juan Merchan. They're going after his daughter. They're going to subpoena them. They're going to make him stand before and say, you know what? You did all this lawfare. You made a ton of money. Now you need to answer for it. Why'd you do it? This is breaking news. Just happened 4 minutes ago, guys. I don't hold back. I'm always watching. I got multiple screens. I want to give you the most breaking news. Remember what Trump said. If you don't release the hostages, there will be HE double hockey stick to pay. Hamas is expected to release 33 hostages during the first phase of an emerging ceasefire agreement, according to 2 Israeli officials. We are days before Trump's inauguration, and his words have power. And now we're seeing that things are happening. Not only that, guys, there's a lot that I just love, guys. We got so much dang good news today. Listen to this.
Our deficit, I think in November, the trade deficit with China was over $100 billion. The trade deficit has been huge. And what are they saying? Well, the trade deficit has been so huge the last couple of months because people are front running buying things from China because they understand President Trump's tariffs coming. I think we have to have a total reorientation. External revenue service. Why is all the burden put on taxpayers?
Exactly.
There should be a mentality that says, hey, guess what? To get access to this market, to get, I think, even to capital markets, that will probably be later. But and I keep saying that, hey, if the wealthy don't want to get taxed, 2 things they should do. Number one, they should get their lobbyists and the donor class should back off this massive federal spending, because in the back of the day, the federal spending's all in response to pressures put on them from either interest groups and or lobbyists that represent specific interest. If you want to cut the spending, you got to back that pressure off. That's where the donors come. So the donors, you tell the donors of the wealthy, hey, look, you can have it 2 ways. We can close this deficit and you can help assist the Doge guys in the deconstruction of the administrative state, and you can help them stop this whole madness about federal spending. Or guess what? Somebody's got to pay for it. We're beyond the stage of just running up the national debt. You just can't do it. Because now it's not just your children and grandchildren, it's you. You do basically have a second mortgage on your house if you're lucky enough to have one, right? The way you're paying now with inflation. And we just walked through how, if you don't have a house, think of it as or if you're not a family group, think of it just another loan out for you, about $100,000. And the payments on that loan go to build inflation. This is why one of the things of inflation is you've got to get the financing costs for the government down. Well, you got to get that down to people in the treasury market to stop flooding it with more and more treasury securities that you have to finance or refinance. It's pretty straightforward. But we have to take the thing off that we're going to pay for the whole thing internally. Why does that have to be? It doesn't. It can be external. I'm not saying it's going to take away all your personal taxes day one. I'm not saying it's going to take down dramatically, but it's a start. And it's a mindset. The mindset is, hang on, we got an Internal Revenue Service, they're adding 10,000 agents, and all they're going to do is audit me and come after me. What about external revenue? And what does that mean? It's more than just tariffs. It could be fees. It could be all sorts of things when you get creative.
Yep.
Bottom line, to get access to you in the United States of America, a nation, not an idea. America is not an idea. America is a nation with a border and a culture and a people and citizens of that. They've always been looked at to burden everything. It's time now, and I think this is the perfect time for it, because President Trump is really coming, and what he's doing, he's a disruptor. And in that disruption, look at how he's already changed the strategic calculus by with the whole what I call Fortress America, or the Monroe Doctrine 2.0, or Manifest Destiny 2.0, or the Great Game 2.0, where he's saying, hey, maybe our borders actually go from the Panama Canal, which President Trump is going to take it back. He's not going to allow some local government that was kind of given this on a loan to then turn it over to the Chinese Communist Party for the military. That is not going to happen on President Trump's watch. And also Greenland. And I think the Greenland gambit is brilliant, because the Greenland gambit puts the Russians on notice, and it puts NATO on notice. The Russian army, as far as a strategic threat to the United States of America, is, I don't know if it gets into the top 10 for the United States of America. The Russian Navy is number one. The Russian Navy, as far as a military threat. That entire Russian Navy, or virtually every important element of it, has to come through the Greenland, Iceland, UK, from their bases up near the Arctic, Murmansk, and I think Archangel and some other places. But it has to come right by Greenland. The United States takes Greenland. Both the Chinese Communist Party in the Arctic and also the Russians strategically are on their back foot. And this is what President Trump's doing. He's looking at things differently. He's looking at things differently. Now, you have the corporate entities in the deep state. We're going to have tonight on from the Daily Signal, I think in the 6 o'clock show, there's a poll out that shows that 50% of federal bureaucrats, I think it's 50% of federal bureaucrats, and those, the administrative state and deep staters, are saying they're going to have full resistance to President Trump. Full resistance to President Trump. Not like, oh, well, we won't take his orders, but they're going to resist.
Told you guys.
Because they don't think he's taking the country in the right direction. Well, it's not their say-so. He is commander-in-chief. He is the chief executive officer. And you're going to see this. He's the chief magistrate of this country, the chief magistrate.
Guys, I'm telling you, there's a resistance coming. They're trying to funnel so much money, guys, through whatever means necessary, guys. This is heartbreaking. For those, let me show you this. This just happened this morning. Biden's total student debt relief passes $183 billion after he forgives another 150,000 borrowers. It ain't forgiveness, brother. You're just passing it on to another person. On top of this, the LA wildfire damages now exceed $150 billion. Guess what? What did Biden say? For the first 6 months, we're going to cover all the costs, no matter what it is. Spare no expense. We will go in there and use any money necessary. I'm signing it right now to take care of California, when I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. California? Listen to this, guys, because lawmakers are now coming to fight this. They said, why do we want to keep pouring money into a broken system? Check this out.
The debt limit, as well as perhaps money for California?
I think that's going to happen pretty soon, obviously, looking at the damage that's going on in California. But like it's been talked about, it's going to have to be in conjunction with some reforms that California hasn't been willing to make on the way they regulate their water and things of that nature, their forest management, all these other things, the things that led to the fire. We can't just dump money into a broken system, a poorly managed system, which California absolutely is across the board. And it led to a lot of the damage you see here is because they weren't prepared. They wasted their taxpayer dollars on all kinds of crazy woke agenda items that they've had and green energy stuff, and they haven't really focused on what keeps their state safe. And so we're going to have to help there, but we're going to expect some reforms, and we're going to try to find some pay-fors, and we're going to have to make some cuts. But yeah, going into a Congress where one of our big agendas is to cut government spending, it's hard when you have things like this happen, and you have to provide money for it.
Yeah, I mean, Devin Nunes just went through the policy failures in California, and it makes sense that lawmakers would force policy change before the money. We'll see where that goes. But Congressman, I also want to get your thoughts on the health of these brave firefighters. They're facing mental health struggles and the long-term impact from breathing in this smoke. Mexico also sending a team of firefighters to help out. Here's what a former LA firefighter told Fox News. Watch this.
So they let you go because you wouldn't get vaxxed?
Yeah, good evening. Yes, they did. There was actually 5 that have been terminated at this point. Originally, back in December of 21, there was 160 people they put off. And then concessions were made, exemptions put in. The city got $1.9 billion in COVID relief funds. And my question is, where has all that money gone? It's really frustrating to understand why our water systems, why is Department of Water and Power, saying that the reservoirs, can't handle this. They can't refill it.
Congressman, what sheer ineptitude. First, they forced so many firefighters to leave the force because they didn't get the COVID shot. Now they need firefighters, and we're seeing this smoke in the air, and it's dangerous condition. Should people be concerned about the air quality?
Well, absolutely, they should. And these firefighters, if they have the right equipment, they should be protected from most of that. That's that's their job. And but I suspect that California hasn't provided them the equipment that they need. We see that in Los Angeles going on right now, where they made massive cuts to the fire department and some of the equipment that they can have. Gavin Newsom has cut money that's gone to these fire prevention programs. And you're right. I mean, it's the same problem we're having in the military right now, where they went in and just summarily got rid of everybody and fired people based on their unwillingness to get the COVID vaccine, and now they're literally paying a price for it right now. And it's a horrible thing.
You're a doctor, and we see President Biden basically, blowing up the place on his way out. He's putting 625 miles of offshore drilling off the grid. He's selling the border wall materials for cents on the dollar. Is he making these decisions, or who do you think's making these decisions? Because we've talked about the mental capacity issues with Joe Biden, and with all these decisions on his way out, what do you think's going on?
I think that there are people that have been making the decisions for the last 4 years. It hasn't been President Biden predominantly. It's all of these young, purple-haired, progressive, woke people that are running around the West Wing right now that have just been drunk on the power and the authority they have working there. They've taken advantage of having a commander-in-chief and a head of state that's completely incompetent and unable to do it himself. And they've done a lot of damage to our country.
Unbelievable.
Guys, let me tell you this. You're not going to believe, stuff's breaking right now. It just happened 3 minutes ago. I'm going to show you in just a moment, but I want to show you this real quick, because this is the type of stuff that happens with your money, your tax dollars, you have no idea about. I want to say thank you so much, Summerman, for the super chat. Let's go. Said Romans 8:28, and we know, read the Bible about it. Let's go. And Shelly Belly, thank you so much for gifting 10 TrueLife News memberships. Growing the TrueLife News fam. I love it. Y'all show Shelly Belly and Summerman some love in the chat, guys. Watch this. I hope you're sitting down, because this is a lot to take in.
Oh, Nicolas Cage. Boy, that's a nice house. $4.2 million in New Orleans. Also eligible for government insurance. Look, I love Nicolas Cage. I'd go to parties at his house, too. I love his movies. I'd pay $20 to go to the movie. Actually, I don't want to pay $20. I would pay to go to see his movies. But I don't think we should buy insurance for his home. If he can get a $4.2 million home, I'll bet you he could buy his own insurance. Let's see who else is eligible for government insurance. Oh, Matt Damon. He's had a lot of good movies. Man, he must be doing great. His place costs $20 million. And it's eligible for government insurance, too.
Government insurance, guys.
You think Matt Damon would be embarrassed to find out that the government's subsidizing his first $250,000? Shouldn't we all be embarrassed? Program's $16 billion in the hole, and we want to renew a program without any reforms. Just keep doing it. It keeps losing money. Just keep doing the same thing. Maybe Matt Damon could buy his own insurance. Who else has a house that'd be eligible for insurance? Oh, Phil Collins. He made some good music. He must have made some great music. His home's worth $40 million in Biscayne Bay, Florida. Also eligible for government insurance. So, I can't imagine how we couldn't come to a compromise. So if ordinary people have second homes that are $500,000 beach homes, if we just went up to $2 million, then we're only going to be clipping Phil Collins and Nicolas Cage and a few others. We have anybody else? Let's see who else we have. Oh, now Cher. She's been doing well for a long time. She has a $42 million place in Miami Beach, also eligible for government insurance. We could go on, but the thing is, doesn't mean we don't like rich people or appreciate their success. I'm all for it. I'm just not for giving them free stuff. Why would we give them subsidized insurance? So what I will offer now is a second amendment, and this one might be easier to accept, and realize that this could be accepted right now. This entire program could be reauthorized with these amendments tonight if the senator from Louisiana will accept this amendment.
Guys, let me tell you this. Y'all think that this is happening all across the country. There is so much, like, people that are so well off, guys, getting subsidized by the government. And I got this to show you right now. They just caught, this happened minutes ago, just caught Mike Johnson in the hallways asking about the aid that they're going to give to California. And he's like, whoa, hold up. They need to make some changes. Thank you so much, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, for the super chat. He said, here's my gift to the new charity. We need to stop the corruption in our state level and federal level. It's a country killer, as we all seen happen with the DI happening. TrueLife News. Let's go. Love your brother, Joel. Love you too, Mr. Norby. Y'all show him some love in the chat, guys. Mr. Norby's an OG. Guys, thank y'all so much for this support. Like I said, in about a week, we're going to be doing an online charity donation. You're going to see me give online in real time to a charity where they help out kids that don't have any home, orphans, kids that don't have any families. Guys, this is what this channel is all about. We don't just report the news. Every single month, go look through our giveaway playlist. We are giving back to help bring positive change. But check this out.
Are you open to providing aid to California without any conditions at all?
I think we've got to have a serious conversation about that. Obviously, there's been water resource mismanagement, forest management mistakes, all sorts of problems. And it does come down to leadership, and it appears to us that state and local leaders were derelict in their duty in many respects. So that's something that has to be factored in. I think there should probably be conditions on that date. That's my personal view. We'll see what the consensus is. I haven't had a chance to socialize that with any of the members over the weekend because we've all been very busy, but it'll be part of the discussion for sure.
What about the debt limit increase? What about tying the debt limit increase to it?
There's some discussion about that, but we'll see where it goes.
Man, guys, I'm telling you, if they don't have no dang conditions on giving California some aid after their whole leadership just basically failed, I'm gonna be a mad conservative. Because I don't even, guys, I'm telling you this, like Republican, Democrat, I don't really care about aligning to those. I care about America first. I care about what's doing right. Whether that falls into a Republican or Democratic bucket, I don't care. I want to show you this, guys, because again, too, guess what Chuck Schumer came out and said on the floor of Congress? I told you guys, climate change, that's why there's wildfires. That's why they're burning. That's why LA is burning down, this and this. CNN did a poll, and I love when CNN does polls, guys, because they show, there's sometimes when they do things where they bring the truth, and I told you, I don't care where the truth comes from, I'm going to show you it. Check this out.
I don't think Americans are making this connection. And the way we can see this in right here and now, take a look at the monthly change in Google searches. Look at the searches for wildfire, up 2,400%. My goodness gracious, this is the most amount of people searching for wildfires ever, going back since Google Trends began back in 2004. But look at climate change, look at the change. It doesn't go hand in hand with wildfires. It's actually down. It's down 9%. And I also looked in California. There has been no increase in the number of searches for climate change. So the bottom line is this. Americans are definitely interested in learning about these wildfires. They're interested in following the news about the wildfires, but they are not making that connection with climate change. That's the bottom line.
There is no connection.
That's a really key metric you're looking at there, the connection. Overall, Americans being worried about climate change. What have we seen over time?
Yeah, you know, we have seen a lot of extreme weather events over the last few decades, right? Hurricanes, heat waves, wildfires. You might expect that Americans worry about climate change would climb. Climate change, worry a lot. You go back to 1991, it was 35%. Now, it was a little bit higher in 2007, a little bit higher in 2022. But look at this. In 2023, the last time we have data, 39%. That is not statistically significantly different from this 35% back in 1991. So despite all these extreme weather events, Americans are really no more worried about climate change than they were, what is that, now nearly 35 years ago? I mean, there's...
And guys, and the reason being because I'm going to show you this in a moment. I want you to see this first, this thing that I got for you, but I'm going to show you, if I can find it real quick, that when it comes to climate change and what they said, guys, they said that by 2020, the entire, ice caps were going to be gone, and the whole United States was going to be flooded, and California was to be gone, and Florida was going to be gone, and guess what? We're still here. They said that back in 2000, and then in 2010, and then in 2020. So guess what? Everybody's starting to say, you know what? Y'all are full of crap. Y'all just want our money. But there's another big thing that's happening right now too, guys, that I want to show you some other stuff pertaining to the Ukraine war and what Trump is trying to do, because good stuff is happening. But remember, Trump wants this ended as ASAP. Check this out.
There's something I write here. This is not President Trump's war. He does not own this war. He's had nothing to do with this war. He tried to stop it. He came out as a world leader at the beginning, out of office, an office that was stolen from him, that the war had never happened if he was the president, which he was legitimately, and stolen by these imposters. These imposters did this. The folks in this show have known. We have fought this from day one for the Ukrainian people to say we're going to get to the same spot. So in the run-up, and Ukraine's going to be big because you got to step into that decision immediately. Right there is the echoes of Vietnam. Mm-hmm. We got to turn this over to the Vietnamese. What you're talking about is that implies to me a long process of our engagement. That's not the deal here. President Trump doesn't own it. Kagan has written, please, guys over there, read the Kagan piece. Kagan has already said this is going to be Trump's biggest strategic defeat. President Trump has no ownership here. None. Zero. Nada. The null set. And Seb, I love you, but haven't we given these guys enough? We've given them billions. We've given $250 billion, a quarter of $1 trillion. Would we not like to have that money back to take care of situations like in Southern California? That there's going to have to be a bailout of insurance. They're going to come people looking for a bailout of insurance, bailout of everything. And this is why I went through the bond market. It's not free anymore. You just can't. The Federal Reserve just doesn't have the ability to create this fiat currency. The rest of the world saying, yo, what are you guys doing? You got to refinance $7 trillion. That's why the 10-year Treasury is going to go up, and your life is going to change. Your mortgage is going to be higher. Your car loan is going to be higher.
Yep.
Your credit card is going to be higher. Inflation is going to be here. President Trump can beat inflation, but not if you had this kind of massive sinkhole of debt. And so the Ukraine thing has got to be tied back to an economic reality, which it seems like the national security guys are a little detached from that. There's some
100%. They don't, guys, everything is tied to each other. I found it. So I wanted to show you this, guys. Government-funded science. In the 60s, they said oil reserves will be depleted in 10 years. Not true. This is taxpayer dollars that were spent on all this funded science. In the 70s, another ice age in 10 years. Didn't happen. In the 80s, acid rain will destroy all crops in 10 years. Didn't happen. 90s, the ozone layer. I remember this one, even though I was really young. The ozone layer will be destroyed in 10 years. Didn't happen. In 2000s, the ice caps will be gone in 10 years. Hasn't happened. Where do you think all this taxes and regulation is going through? It's all to control our lives. Where did this money go to, guys? We don't know. That's the problem. They're always taking all our money, trying to sell us on fear, and we never see the end of it. This is this is what gets on my nerves about this big government and why we need a new regime, why we need new people. This is the big week, guys. I want to show you this because a lot of Trump's cabinet's picks are expected to go through their hearings this week, and hopefully they will be confirmed. Check this out.
My job is to make sure they get across the finish line, get on the job, and President Trump deserves a team.
We need Pam Bondi as the Attorney General so that we can stop the DOJ from weaponizing their power. We need Scott Bessent at the Treasury so we can stop this conversation around a global taxation and a minimum tax.
He has selected people who are willing to not move as business as usual, but yet are ready for action.
Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen begging President Biden to pardon him before he leaves office. He says he deserves a pardon like the one Biden gave his son, Hunter, claiming Biden has an obligation to protect him and other critics from President-elect Trump. Cohen also revealed his efforts to reach out to the Biden administration. That's curious, isn't it?
It is.
And an LA-based humanitarian organization is on the ground near the border zone and the burn zone there to help community. Excuse me? Kaylee, we're going to bring in. I thought that was strange. I'm like, what am I reading here? Because I'm looking at myself and Kaylee and talking about that wildfires. A wildfire that we will get back to in just a moment. But let's take a second here to talk about a week from today is the inauguration of President-elect Trump. They are planning a little shock and awe, which I think is probably an apt term. How do you see their planning in order to overwhelm everybody with their preparedness?
I think the motto is go big or go home this time. Trump has had 4 years to think about this, and he's clearly given it a lot of thought. Just in pure numbers, okay, think about it. They've indicated 100 executive actions. Biden holds the record for the most executive orders on day one. He had 15, and then he had 2 executive actions. Almost every predecessor only had 1 executive order on the first day. Trump wants to not just double Biden, but triple him, quadruple, and beyond with 100 executive orders. The content is what I'm interested in. I asked Tom Homan, 5 executive orders is what I'm hearing from NBC on immigration. He said expect way more than that. So the content will be as interesting as the volume.
So 3 major hearings tomorrow. We're going to carry one for sure. Pete Hegseth at 9:30. Then on Wednesday, you got a flurry of activity on the Hill. We'll get to that later. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance, I thought was very interesting with Shannon on Sunday. He thinks the Biden folks have left them a mess and made the point this way. Watch.
President Biden has left us an absolute dumpster fire. Now, we're excited to get to work, but we need to be open and honest about the fact that President Biden has not left the next administration in a good place. We have a wide open southern border. Oil is going through the roof. Bond yields went from 4.1% to 4.8% in a month. On top of the fact that President Biden has been running the largest peacetime deficits in the history of this country.
What I think is phenomenal is how different the country and the world is now than it was in January of 2017.
It's incredible. I mean, just foreign policy. You have 2 new wars on your watch with Israel, which could wind down at some point and be a huge accomplishment if it does. Same with Ukraine, Afghanistan. I mean, so much has happened. But J.D. Vance, one thing I was struck by in his interview, he's such a good messenger for this administration. At one point, he talked about compassion and looking at people with compassion, just this kind of soft undertone to the policies they're going to put forward. He talked about the January 6th pardons and the way they're going to methodically kind of work through that. He is a very thoughtful and I think will be a very effective vice president and putting a real soft face on what are going to be some hard policies, deportations and the like.
Still, President Joe Biden thinks he would have won.
Or she.
Well, yes, we'll get to that. Watch here.
I think I would have beaten Trump, could have beaten Trump, and I think that Kamala could have beaten Trump, would have beaten Trump. I didn't want to be one who caused a party that wasn't unified to lose an election.
Guys, I'm sorry. Did you just hear him? He said, I think that Kamala could have beaten Trump, would have beaten Trump. What do you say to that, guys? It's heartbreaking because this is supposed to be our president, the most powerful guy in the world, and he's speaking like he has no clear cognitive acuity, mental acuity.
And that's why I stepped aside, but I was confident she could win.
Well, obviously she didn't win, but also I don't understand his decision to constantly plow over old ground that doesn't get him anywhere to a place where he would like to try to repair his legacy.
He's very stubborn. I think that's clear. And you look at the final Real Clear Politics average of Biden-Trump matchup, and you had Trump beating Biden by 3.1%, which is double the margin that Trump beat Kamala by. It's just not simply true that he could have beat Trump. And, of course, that's all hypothetical. But the Real Clear Politics average kind of dismisses that. But if you go back to that Wall Street Journal report about Biden waning and, faltering in his final days, one of the big takeaways was that pollsters were kept away from him. Democrats who met with him were alarmed and incredulous at his concept of the polls versus reality. His staff did him a disservice. He was in a cocoon. He wasn't getting accurate information, and here we are.
I just don't know a lot of people who believe that comment. I mean, on his face, he could have won, she could have won. Well, she did run, and she lost.
Guys, it's bad. I want to show you something. It literally just came out today. It's not even like he's speaking. I don't know what's going on. Thank you so much, Tarina Smith, for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships, growing the TrueLife News fam. Guys, y'all show Tarina some love in the chat. If you got a membership, y'all show her some extra love. I love it, guys. Y'all are so amazing. We're here to serve you. Check this out.
Look, let's get something in mind about the border. When I became president, the numbers came way down, number one. Number two, we had a circumstance where I pushed very hard for a bipartisan agreement to put more people on the border, more Secret Service agents. And guess what? He's on the phone saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Make me look bad.
You heard that? He said, when I came into office, the numbers went down. I don't know who the heck is talking to this guy. It breaks my heart. I want the best for our presidents, to put America first, but I'm telling you, there's always going to be the lies that are spewed, just like what you saw and what I'm about to show you next. Check this out.
Context. You said this was the beginning of Trump derangement syndrome. Did you sense that at NBC?
Oh, God. Absolutely. I mean, anything. Remember this, over at ABC News, they did, at the same time, when Trump became president, they built a 75-person investigative unit. I know the guy who was head of it, dedicated to anything negative on Trump, find stuff on him and get him out. This is not journalism. This is not news. It is activism. When you're calling journalism, it's total activism.
What do you think that
all
was?
The major networks. That's why, by the way, when NBC does the thing that they did, ABC and CBS don't call it out. They don't say,
of course,
hey, what, you're competing with each other. I would want to pound my competitor.
Yeah.
They're like, look what you did. That was dirty. Because all of them would have done it too, probably. You know what I mean?
What do you think?
They all shared that mission. I mean, and Zucker then became, years later, the head of the resistance. The guy that built him then became the head of the resistance at CNN.
It's amazing.
It's amazing in a matter of 10 years. Like this recording of this bus tape that was I would have been fired. It had leaked out then for hurting the star. 11 years later, in a lawsuit over Miss Universe and whatever else, NBC feels completely differently about Donald Trump, and now it's get him at all costs. Get him out of this presidential race at all costs. I don't care who we have to kill or shoot in the head on the way, including Billy Bush, no problem. Get rid of him. So it's
an incredible...
what a courageous guy. He had to do that. We'll give him a pass because, look, he brought forward this beautiful thing that will take out the enemy.
Because he's screwing Trump.
Because he's screwing Trump. And in the end, this is the very beginning of Trump derangement syndrome. No matter what, screwing Trump is paramount above everything else.
Yes.
So I would have gotten the pass from the media. Trump is, it's like country music. Love him or hate him, right? I mean.
So what was that? So you move over, and that, I just want to say this for the third time. That tape, after you spoke to Rob about it, to your EP about it, the next day, was never mentioned again for 11 years.
Guys, I'm telling you, the amount, I want to show you this, the amount of Trump derangement syndrome, the lies, fallout, guys. I feel like we're this 2025 year is going to be a year of truth. It's going to be a year of people's eyes being opened up, of transparency, and that's what I love. Is like, if Trump wouldn't have won, it wouldn't be happening, guys. We'd still be fighting such an uphill battle. I wanted to show you this Greenland poll on joining the United States of America. Now, join America is 57%, guys. This is from Patriot Polling. This is amazing. Can you imagine what an amazing acquisition this would be, not just for for the people of Greenland, but for us in terms of their resources, how we can help fund that and just continue to grow and make the United States the best that it can be. I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so I can take care of you every day with the top news. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button, guys. It really does help to grow the channel so much. Thank you so much for your support. I want to give some love and shout outs to those that have given a super chat donation, guys. We are so grateful for your support. I'm so excited to be giving every single month to the charity and really helping to change people's lives. I want to show some love to Alex Fox. Thank you so much, Susan Ines. Jeff Loves the Truth. Summerman, Shelly Belly, Tarina Smith, and our future congressman, Mr. Tracy J. Norby. Y'all show them some love in the chat, guys. They are awesome. You are awesome. If you want to be a member of the channel, the link is in the description to join the True Life News fam. Thank you so much, Anna Bausing, for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Anna some love in the chat. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Guys, y'all are so amazing. I'm here for it. I'm here for you. Here to support you with all the top news, guys. So this is a big, big week, and I got you. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.